This is Lucas Kapell. Lucas is an ex-student of Bedford Road, and this is his Canadian story.
Hey, so my story begins, as any good story does, in the month of October. It was October 10th, 2014, and I was out being a rambunctious little teenager, and I was out drinking and dancing and socializing and being just the life of the party that I am. So one thing led to another, and I ended up at my friend's Lachlan's, his cousin's place. There was already quite a few people there. There was some partying going on. There was some drinking going on. And I figured, you know what? It'd be best if I try to blend in. Now, I was a naive little 16-year-old. Didn't really know how the world worked. So I figured the best way to prove that I was cut out for this party was to join them in their drinking. And I did. I went shot for shot with my friend, who was approximately 200 pounds heavier than me. So my frail little body could not handle the amount of alcohol. Before we get to the catastrophic stuff, I'll just tell you some funny anecdotes that happened throughout the day. My friend spilled an entire bag of Fritos on the floor, and in my drunken, slovenly state, I picked them up and ate them one by one off the floor after they had been stepped on, because I was hungry and there was no other food within 5 feet of me. It was maybe 10 minutes after this that I completely blacked out, and I can't remember anything from that point on. So it was entirely possible that my last memory as a fully functional human being could have been eating Fritos off the floor. So that's why you shouldn't drink. I only have secondhand accounts to go off of after this, but as everyone's filled me in, this is approximately what happened. Maybe half an hour after I blacked out, I was out in the garden, trying to dispose of fluids that were coming up in a discreet manner, and my friend was helping me out. I leaned over to say thank you and I ended up puking all over his face. Reason number 2, why you shouldn't drink too much. Being the nice friend he is, he got me cleaned up and put me in the bathroom, and I passed out in the bathtub. And by passed out, I do mean passed out. I couldn't be woken up by anybody there. My friend was freaking out, and him and his cousin ended up having to call an ambulance, which eventually led me to the Royal University Hospital, where I was to spend the night. Lachlan's mom came and sat beside his bed so that she wouldn't have to disturb my parents at all, which was very nice of her. And I remember the agony of waking up and having to hobble my way to the bathroom, leaning on the IV stand as a bit of a crutch, and thinking that I would never drink again. The hangover, despite the IV saline flush that they gave me, was one of the worst things I've ever experienced, and I came very close to dying that night. So that's my moral. That's my story as to why you shouldn't drink underaged, because otherwise you will die 100%. So don't do it, kids.